It's a beautiful day, as we see. We return once more for another match. Whenever you are deciding to watch this broadcast, I hope that you are excited as we are here with final match of tonight, but that doesn't mean it won't be the least exciting, as I am using the underscore intel, no relation with the name up there, but this is Kilo Miles. You're joined with me.
Yeah, and we are getting ready for some West Coast action, or even Wester than West, as we've got University of Hawaii taking on Sacramento State. Now, Sacramento State, they are a newcomer to the EGF, and they have struggled a little bit, but they've been cementing themselves as a team to watch out for. Meanwhile, University of Hawaii has been on the glow-up. It feels like they found the few missing puzzle pieces that they needed. Players like Pyro coming in on the duck hunt, who have been on a tear. University of Hawaii is showing themselves to be one of the greatest threats in the entirety of EGF, and with how stacked it is, that is something to be excited for. And I talked about how George Washington is the best coached on a player-to-player basis. I feel like Hawaii is the best coached on a match mentality overall basis, on an order basis. And we're going to see that masterful strategy on display here tonight, going up against the new kid on the block, Sacramento State.
Yep, for the first match of tonight, they have chose Zoro versus Cheese Brain. That's going to be the matchup that we will be paying attention to, especially onto PS2. This will be fairly interesting to see how they go up against each other.
Yeah, now Cheese Brain, you got to keep an eye on them. They are on that Terry, and they're lethal with their kill confirms. They're a great opener because they are really good when people have those you've got the initial jitters, you're not quite ready to go in and scrap. They are fantastic for being the opener.
I agree. We've saw it so many times, especially with the Terry. The inputs that they manage to land catch me off guard every time. They've stolen kills from 6 miles away, but the hero is one that is so unpredictable. You'll have to be prepared to go up against it, as they already start this little bit of a zoning game, looking to just mess around, but it's the Terry who's going to be missing the grab, looking to play around them, so to juggle around, dodge the sizzle.
Yep, and with this hero out already, you've got to mostly watch out for the disjoints. I mean, Zoro is no slouch in their own right, but as you can see, Cheese Brain is spacing well around this, playing a very good game of footsies. Now, Crack Shoot is, or the Power Wave is taken out of play for the time being with the bounce being online, but hey, Zoro doesn't mind that too much at all. Accelerado now gives you the opportunity to be a rushdown character of your dreams, but it's not enough. Not enough quite yet.
I mean, you're looking to play like the Sonic. Maybe the Kamikaze might work if this just wasn't a very intense game and the first set. Leaving yourself a little bit open to get kicked. Look at that. Cheese Brain is so prepared. Just be able to move them out, but the Psych Up is now here. They're looking to heal for a tiny bit. But I mean, Zoro really isn't getting too much, just missing these swipes that they've been looking for, and especially with the abilities that they've been throwing out, a lot of MP is being used.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get in and brawl to make up for that sooner or later, and by sooner or later, I mean now. Because they have no more. They open up that menu, it's all gray, and they're like, okay, I've got to find the opening. That one big forward air, though, it's going to set up an off-stage situation and give you mana. As you just get that drop zone fair, run off, you're going to use that disjoint to catch out Terry, but with that jab up beat, it's even right away.
Now, the snooze missing out. At least you managed to get the trade in, so, you know, now your MP's back up, your opponent's at 0%, and you managed to get a beautiful swipe onto them, which helps to kind of even up the damage. But the Terry is the one who's engaging in, wondering how should the MP really be used, especially as... Ooh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. No crit right there, but you had to hold your breath, knowing that there was a 1/8 chance that you were just going to die. As now, they missed out the chance to get that spike right there, get that continuation. Ooh, but use that Crack Shoot, just close the distance instantly. They haven't used that burst option that much to punish Hero, and it is punishable. You can shield it for sure. But there's the crit you were looking for. You roll the dice enough times, you're eventually going to get 6s.
Poor Cheese Brain. I mean, the KO ability has not been shining up. And I mean, that's what Cheese Brain has always just looked really good with. So to see Zoro getting that kill before it even comes up is looking very nice. Now manages to get a little bit of a stops the heal from coming through, gets the kill, but returns back. Cheese is not ready to give it up.
No, they are not, user, as now you get the down tilt set up right there. Oh, a lot of damage chunked on, and the kaboom goes wide because that Cheese Brain has an opportunity to be right up in your face, but they dash around. They're not overcommitting quite yet. They don't want to give up any unnecessary percent.
Now, I mean, that unnecessary percent. You're absolutely right, but I don't really know what you would call unnecessary because it seems more necessary for them to just not take any damage at all. 106 now getting the bounce, looking to build up that flame slash, hiding on the edge, but it seems Cheese Brain miscalculated, is going to be falling through.
Yeah, and an early lead right now for Sacramento State. This is huge. I mean, Hawaii knows that they like to play from a lead. They like to put you at a disadvantage and just whittle you away. So the fact that they even drop a game to start out, they usually like to dominate you right away, and ooh, that... I think
it was a misinput.
Shield, yeah. It's unfortunate to say the least, but hey. Yeah, they try to jump rising tackle. Just a whole slew of like... It's like when you're falling out of your chair. You're tilting backwards, you're falling out of your chair, and you're trying to grab everything to make it feel better, and somehow everything just keeps getting worse. Little stuff like that, but hey. Oh, it warms my heart to see Terry's who are clean in their confirms right there. You don't have to have the 0 to deaths all the time. As long as you know how to kill people, that can be it. Now, how to kill people without overcommitting, that is another thing altogether. Because they try to drift forward. Oh, I didn't even see how low they were. That forward smash with the crit to 40%.
I think it's good that we held our breath from the first time we saw it because, well, we got to see the example of what happened.
Yeah, we certainly did. Ugh, beautiful stuff right there. I mean, there were some mistakes on both sides, but ultimately it was Zoro who was more comfortable playing in the chaos, and in that clutch situation, they were able to get it into a... I mean, again, misinput. We can't be sure how that game would have ended, but either way, Zoro gets a leg up. But this is a best of 3 for a reason. They still have an opportunity to bring this back.
I agree. Cheese Brain felt more out of comfort than anything. We didn't see a lot of the usual moves that the Terry often hits, especially when that KO was built. Maybe just not having a chance to use it, or kind of just not ready to. Wasn't able to get any big kills or hits off of it. Now, when moving in, when going into a different stage, I think Cheese Brain is going to be feeling a little bit happier now knowing how to play against a character who can be very unpredictable.
Yeah. As... Well, it's tough because Terry likes to weave in and out of their opponent's burst range and then dart in to get a massive confirm. It's a little more difficult to do that when you can't be entirely sure what your opponent's burst range is going to be. And they don't know either.
Now...
Oh. An opportunity right here, but Hero with that whoosh is going to get right on back. Oh, but nice coverage on the roll away. They were ready for that.
And, well, it just seems Cheese Brain is more than ready. Final Destination working out so well in their favor. Though we do see the MP set up, they don't manage to get the slash. They're still stuck on to this edge, taking a lot of time to charge. And Cheese Brain is just looking for any type of frame to go in their favor, especially at 100%. At least you're going to be able to freely get back on, but you kind of let yourself fall through.
No MP! They couldn't make it back. And because of that, Cheese Brain going to have an early stock lead. They are choking out this hero. Now that they are a little more comfortable with Zoro's patterns, on FD of all places, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, no platforms to dart under. It's just you and me. The final brawl.
Now, we do see the bounce helping a little bit out. but Cheese Brain is somewhat controlling how this goes. Gets almost caught out, but basically knows how the sizzle, the bangs, they're gonna be working. Manages to get back onto the stage. This poor Zoro almost gets punched, but he's barely gonna be managing to break through. It's the combos that, not the combos, but the knockback that I think matters most, because this accelerate is gonna be helping a lot. Get back onto the stage, but landing you into your opponent's field. The go is now built. Will you be able to kill before it lands?
Yeah, that is the name of the game, but you still go for the tried and true classic, and they tried to go for a jump out of shield out of that. I think they're trying to avoid any possible grab right there, but instead, no, they get punished, and now they get the psych up, the back throw. It's not going to kill even with psych up, unfortunately, for them.
Yep, look at this, still getting some room. I don't know what percentage you would call it, but let's say hypothetically this go lands. What percentage could that kill?
Depends on where you're on the stage. I don't know exactly, and I'm not going to call it. Let's just let Cheese Brain demonstrate it, because, oh, they're fishing for it. They want it very badly. Standing at a safe distance away, poking, not committing. There it is. But they're still going to live. How are you going to get back to stage, though? How are you going to avoid this 3-stock? Is it even possible?
I think it is. 93%. It seemed to be close. Just barely missing that out. If it would have landed, it could have just cost it all, as Zoro looks to play back, but they're using so much MP. Is it worth it? You have to do damage if you want to be able to get it back, though it looks like it's eventually going to work, because Cheese Brain, no, gets back on. You were caught off guard, and now the go just barely misses out as you fall through without any MP.
That was beautiful DI. Maybe an SDI right there. I couldn't quite see as Zoro is able to escape for now. And these high percents, a lot of these confirms aren't quite true anymore. Cheese Brain's got to find a mix-up and avoid the projectiles while they're doing it. How do you find the way in? Where's the crack in the wall? It's got to be there somewhere. Is Zoro, are they able to complete it? Yes, the 3-stock achieved. Cheese Brain fights back after their unfortunate SD and proves that they are no one to be messed with.
What did I say? It was just a destiny to be told. As Cheese Brain, I think what's more fairly impressive is that Cheese Brain just didn't die. Was playing this, I wouldn't say slowly, but very carefully, to where they didn't get caught out by Zoro. Zoro was panicking so much, you saw them end up using all of their MP. I think even if the go didn't land it, if they would have been knocked off too far off the stage, I don't think they could have recovered. Also, yeah, look, they tried, they just did it too late.
Yeah, unfortunate, but either way, 1 for 1, trade for trade, either way, you still got 3-stocked. Even with that one SD, the momentum was all in Cheese Brain's favor, and, I mean, Shoto's on FD. Fighting FGC characters on FD, doesn't matter how you slice it, it is so smothering to have, when they just have full range of motion, they can decide how and when to go. This is where their kits were designed for. That auto turnaround right there, locking on when you tried to cross up. You know you can't cross up Terry.
It was a good slam, landed fairly well and got the job done, but I mean, now they're going over to Battlefield, and we got to see how that went for map 1. Now at least it's fairly even. The 3-stock helped so much, though. Even if they lost the first round, they're now in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, dropping 1 point is never something that you need to worry too much about. And maybe Cheese Brain heard me, maybe Cheese Brain heard their coach in their ears saying, hey, listen, you know we like to play from a lead. We sent you in for a reason, but oh, here's a bit of a switch up right here. Going to a different sortie. A lot less RNG, though, as we're going on to this Sephiroth here. Now, we've seen a lot of Sephiroth tonight.
We have, and the Sephiroth has, you know, managed to surprise us more often than not, but I think that Terry may be a good fit for a close combat versus a character who's really good at this long to mid-range.
Yeah, mid-range is Sephiroth's A-game right here. You want to play right around that tipper range at the center of his sword, and the Shadow Flares are an amazing poke tool that more or less as Ubel once said, it's an assist in Smash Bros. Like, it sets you up for a guaranteed assist at some point down the line, and it will either combo break or extend your combo.
That Zoro's able to get back now with the wings, a fallen angel, as they say, landing 2 of the orbs. That's going to be helping because, look, they have to force the shield. Terry's not going to be able to find any more movement. And you're able to hit a literal pinwheel, but it's too bad that Cheesebrain is able to knock you out.
Oh, pile driving you straight into that platform. But you get up into the flare, usually Sephiroth will cancel it, at least the first time, but no. Cheesebrain falls for the oldest projectile in the book. You're gonna be taken down. Oh, Shadow Flare locked onto you once again, and Zoro's glad to just chase you down. Your air dodge isn't quite enough, 50% stacked up from that.
When you've seen everything, it's the thing that you are too used to seeing that sometimes will catch you off guard. As we see them being knocked into the air, Zoro is just, well, playing at a distance. And I think that's really nice, though. It doesn't help when your own attack gets parried when it's a projectile. That's not something I'm used to seeing.
Sephiroth forced to retreat onto the platforms a lot of the time, too. Is that what you see? Oh, one wing comes out straight in the middle of that platform, and Cheesebrain somehow gets turned around during that? I'm not sure, but either way, oh, now you're trying to get back. Oh, a beautiful air dodge, though. The high recovery, Zoro was not in position to cover that, and that gives Terry, ooh.
So,
defense.
It's so close. I mean, Zoro managing to get the shield break, that's gonna work well. Able to full charge, send your opponent back to the shadow realm where they belong. Cheesebrain still doesn't look very disturbed by how this is going. As much as Zoro is like playing at this distance, moving away, managing to throw these orbs back on, the Terry continues to push forward and continues to look to try to frame it. Oh, got a nice parry. Oh! Oh!
Ooh. Yeah, you can't really contest Sephiroth's recovery with that massive destroy. What you can do is punish whatever Sephiroth decides to do off of ledge. That's why you see them shielding and then immediately going for the nair like that.
You know, I just don't think I truly expected it in that sense. Now, in a blink of an eye, the wings are up, the combo is there. You're knocked into the air, and it seems Hawaii, even at one stock, they're ready to be able to bring a comeback.
Yeah. Very nice stuff right there at the end. Dash forward, pressures with the down tilt, and then immediate jab into the rising tackle. I don't think they were ready for that at all. Not even a kill screen right there.
Yeah, I agree, as they sort of fall short, not able to recover back, and that was incredibly close. I mean, I wasn't expecting the Sephiroth to do as much as they did, but is it really just given into that range?
I don't know. Oh, I do want to talk about this shield break, though. I mean, it was a guaranteed kill nonetheless. You see how much damage that did up to 124 to 188. That's like 60 damage. Sephiroth is almost guaranteed. I think they are guaranteed to kill almost any character at any point.
You're not completely wrong, but I mean, just look at that 188. Almost got to the. If they got to the 200, I would have been impressed.
Yeah, if they get a shield break, it's almost guaranteed, because the amount of hit stun you can confirm into an F smash after the Giga Flare.
Hey, it worked out in the end. Hawaii, they're managing to take this lead, though not steadily. They're still looking like they aren't rusty at all, though Cheesebrain falling into the name very quickly.
Yeah, as now University of Hawaii is exactly where they like to be. They love to be on this lead, as it's looking like we're immediately getting into the next players. Oh, I thought it said Tito versus Rito. No, it's going to be Rito from Sacramento State. As University of Hawaii, I'm expecting one of their heavy hitters. Though, I'll be honest, their starting roster is starting to look stacked. Like, they don't even need Before, they had like 3-star players and they used them to get the lead, but no, now everyone in Hawaii seems to be a threat.
Honestly, I think it just comes down with practice. When you have one player who becomes a big threat, the rest will follow very shortly, I feel. And, well, they're more than prepared to follow through in those actions. So, well, when we get to see Rito versus Dark Wampa, how do you feel on that?
Now, Darth Wampa, the picture of consistency on their Link. They have been one of the key stock getters ever since they started out at the beginning of the fall season, getting wins over big name players, ranked players, PR players online. And hey, I think they're a good all-rounder. They've got some pretty decent combos, pretty decent traps, pretty decent zoning. And by decent, I mean decent by a high level standard. Like, it's just jack of all trades. And then they also decide every now and then, oh yeah, I'm the master of this for a little bit.
You know, I feel that is always something that catches me off guard. It's just the fact that I never feel that they're ever going to run the same thing, but sometimes it does happen. There is going to be a button check that walks out, but we're going over to Battlefield. So what do you feel the odds are? What possible character could fall out of their pocket?
I'm not even going to try and speculate on that. You know, Link on the Link on Battlefield generally just has access to more options. Now, the aerial up B, I mean, it's okay. It's okay for securing the kill if you have a hard read on them. What I can guarantee is if you miss a tech on either one of those platforms, side or top, you're gonna get speared by the Master Sword. That up air, that lingering hitbox is great for those tech chase situations when you're not entirely sure. So you throw out the lingering hitbox to cover the entire tech animation, and Link is just floaty enough where that's a viable option.
It's why I like Link, besides from just Ocarina of Time. You know, my childhood seeping into this game, but we've talked a lot about how Wampa is going to work when looking at Rito. I mean, what are some possibilities we could be kind of thinking of?
I mean, again, it could be literally any character. I really think that Darth Wampa, though, is equipped to handle any character. That's why I keep harping on them being an all-rounder like that. Because, well, Link doesn't really have any matchups where it's like, oh my god, this is completely unwinnable. Earlier, we saw Rosalina versus Ness, where anytime Rosalina got Ness off stage and took their jump, it was over. It's like watching Little Mac from Smash 4. You hit them once off stage, they're forced to use their up B, and they're dead. Like, that is not something that happens to Link. Link can be gimped, but is not the most gimpable character with a mix-up of bomb recoveries and up B. They can be comboed, but they also have an amazing combo breaker in the form of Nair. They can be shield pressured, but they have they don't have the best in the game of anything, but they have pretty good options in any scenario. Like, you pressure their shield, you might get up B'd. You miss a tech on the platform, you might get up aired. And there are characters who do it better, but Link just has the tools to be an all-round threat every day of the week.
Well, then I guess it really just relies on to how we'll see it go down. PS2 will be the map that we land on, so at least I'm very excited to see PS2. All night has felt like the best way to get a sense of how these players are learning off of each other and, well, what they expect to do afterwards.
Yeah, now PS2 is considered to be a very neutral stage because in Smash Ultimate, people always talk about center stage, center stage, center stage, but people have started to realize, and by started to realize, I mean a while ago they realized, that controlling a platform is a lot more important than controlling center stage. And what does PS2 have? A wide open no man's land of center stage and a platform on both sides for players to control, to reestablish themselves in the neutral. Now, if they're forced into a corner, then you have to get through that platform control, and that can be a little more difficult. But it starts out very neutral as both players have a platform in their power, where they have a defensive option with the platform above head, protecting from descending aerials and some projectiles. And they also have that as a defensive tool in combos, with a lot of options to tech out of combos, whether you DI above the platform to bait a tech chase, but actually you're going to jump away, or you tech away on the platform, as we're finally getting into the game now.
Look at this, though. It's as the fate told. It's Link versus Bowser. Now we can see how this works. I mean, I've always liked how Darth has always used their resources to be able to combo into the bomb, but when going up against a Bowser, the character like this, how does that look?
Well, it's going to be a lot of keep away. Link does have the boxing tools. Like you said, just broke right through that Bowser up B with the Nair right there. They don't care. As now, they're able to avoid, even with the drift away, they're not able to get the punish. Rito is actually playing really well around these empty land short hops. That immediately, this movement is showing me that Rito is a major threat.
I can agree. Look at that. Looking to block at least when it comes down, not paying too much attention, or at least not really caring where that bomb goes. They just look to push forward, and it seems Darth is going to get slightly punished. However, with that grab, one person is on the edge, and you force them from not getting the chance to get back. It was too obvious.
Oh, and that drop down up B. We've seen that bite people in the butt a couple times, but against Bowser in that situation, there's not really a good way to get back. Speaking of not really a good way to get back, that flame breath ledge guarding right there was brutal. And you get the grab too. The edge trapping continues, and using the walk to microspace, even though Rito is behind, the way they're moving their character demonstrates mastery to me. They finish them off with the side bait.
Look at that, staying comparably even, but yet Darth does not want to give up that chance. We see was that not a tough guy, I do believe. That was more of just, well, shield dancing against it.
Yeah, and now, ooh, they just go straight on top of them, dropping the down B. Now, as you try to find a way in, I love that. They wanted to land on that platform so badly, but no. Instead, they go in from the side, getting a hard punish on that smash attack, something you don't see a lot, and Darth Wampa is down.
Look at that, they feel nice. I mean, Darth is kind of being caught out by Rito's own different style of this Bowser, but almost being caught out. They're gonna be able to, no, I'm sorry. No, they got back! I knew it! I was calling it the entire time. Don't understand.
Not enough time to go for that drop down up B that Darth Wampa had used to edge guard them before. And when you don't have time to set up an edge guard, it is far better to just wait. As you use that bomb to, again, force a jump that time. Rito used that resource to get back to stage, but they get caught by the short hop bear.
Now look at that. Caught on the ground, gets side beat and slammed, though. Seems Rito is going to survive from the down B. This is not good! That slam takes out Darth, who we've seen shine. Said Rito was looking like a threat. I think we need a bigger word from the dictionary.
Yeah, a straight up villain with the way they're destroying this hero of time. Ooh, that forward tilt is usually used as a downward angled two-framing tool, but instead they angle it up as a great little poke to get through that. And did you see that perfect knowledge of how to match? I mean, that's not that prevalent, but just the distance they get off of Bowser's recovery is not something we see a lot of people from EGF, I'll be honest. Again, Rito showing experience right here as they just call out these options, knowing that you can't really contest that Link there, so they just grab it instead.
It works. It just works. That's the phrase that I gotta go with, but I mean, all night, I don't think we've seen the Bowser work this well. So are there any noticeable differences that you're kind of seeing that's helping Rito?
I mean, you notice how it feels like they're playing in Lightning Melee? Like, they are going non-stop. The bunny hood is on as, oh, no cams, we're getting right back into this. They are moving at a speed that most Bowsers don't, and that's because of that 3-frame jump squat on Bowser. They move around these empty hops so well. Just empty hop, empty hop, empty hop, until they're actually able to throw out. There are no unnecessary movements, no unnecessary aerials. That is the defining trait of Rito's play for me.
I can't believe Rito is also just like not caring at all about the bomb. I think the biggest thing people do is throw it off the edge, don't give it a chance, but Rito threatens you, says, do it, I'm staring at you directly in your face, I'm gonna grab that side B that can sometimes go in the air, and I'm gonna hit you. Now, with his damage being quite up, Rito is just looking to push forward without too much care of the world. Even if they really want to be playing in the middle, both of them are forced to play on that edge, being thrown so far out. Will we see the kill? Yes, we will.
Yeah, beautiful stuff right there, as now forced to try and find this. Now, when you're holding the bomb, Link can't actually detonate it, so that's a great way to deny use of it. However, it takes away some of your options as well. I mean, with Z-drop aerials, there's a little bit more of versatility, but either way, Rito holding onto the bomb, maybe not the best idea there, as you get the tech chase covered with the bomb laying there, like a Snake C4 lying in wait. Now, you're able to cover your own landing with the bomb again, showing the versatility of that blue tool.
Rito is at kill percentage, but so is Darth. That's not something we want to forget. Bowser almost getting guarded off that edge, but able to survive. His seeming Darth is getting that new way, using that shield a lot more, which is catching Rito a little bit off guard. That may be the difference that makes it. However, the parry almost worked.
I mean, the one thing I will say about that shield, ooh, but you've missed the get-up attack. And you don't even get the chance to get the shield out. You're going to recover right here, but it's still so tough. Up B out of shield, you are able to grab it. No way to really get an attack out, but the grab, yeah, that's just fast enough.
Yeah, look at that. Bowser eventually is going to be able to get that kill, staying close to the side, though you're going to be thrown off the guard. That bomb is there. You're fine. There's nothing to worry about. 211 damage taken. Who needs to worry about it? You're a heavy character.
And the up out of shield. Oh, I thought it was going to set up a tech chase. That will, though. But you're going to miss the up tilt. Ooh, it was a little preemptive with that. But aggressive use of up B right there is enough. 221%. That's the life bar for Bowser right now. As they're sending Link up once again. Ooh, he's landing there. They're trying to get landing there into back air. A true combo for sure, but it's difficult to land when Darth Wampa is being as elusive as they are. There's the confirm.
Look at that. Using that flamethrower, though able to get back on. Rito, very angry, gets knocked back, able to get back onto the stage without too much of a worry. But that boomerang comes back. It's the guard that you have to worry about. And Darth is continuing to throw it up as much as they can, though missing it just slightly. They're able to get back on before Rito could kill. I mean, Gila, this is getting scary.
Yeah, it definitely is, as the bomb sends them to the other side. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's never count Bowser out. But Darth Wampa, I think, is looking to count him out. Oh, dipping very low on that. Goes for the empty land. Forward tilt. That's just a little too slow to punish up B landing lag. Now, where do you find the opening? Where do you find the opportunity to finish off this stock? Anything from Bowser might just kill with this much rage. But you've got to find the opening. Jumping high above that bomb. You need it for, you need something stronger than that. Up B sending them off.
Yeah, they are just going as hard as they can. But what do we even call that? What do we even call that? All right.
Scooping up. Yes, getting caught up in the hero spin, the tornado of time, sending you off down into the blast zone. If you ever try an edge guard Link, if you ever try an edge trap Link, you have to know that every now and then, when the moon shines at the right moment, they will rise above that ledge and finish you off just like that.
I mean, for the second round, we are being put into the third matchup. They're going to be trying to go up once more. And I gotta say, I'm really liking how Rito is working with this Bowser, but is it just that PS2 really is even, or is Darth now getting a good understanding?
I think this is Darth's adaptation. Like I said, they're so well-rounded that they can find the ability to adapt anywhere. They're not going to be hit by something they cannot adapt to. The question is only if Rito can counter-adapt to them. If Rito can find the way around the zoning, find the way around the juggling that has been the bane of their existence.
I mean, my bane of I think the biggest bane is just in the fact that Bowser got to live up to 2,000. I mean, what world do we live in that... Well, not 2,000, 200. That's how it felt, though, for me. That's the way I saw it. It was just very impressive. But we've got a moment to look at how both of them play, and especially how they're matching up. Those bombs have been really good, but I don't know. Do you feel maybe Darth could be a little more aggressive when it comes down to the guarding, or is Bowser basically safe at times?
I don't think Bowser's safe at all. We've seen the bombs go off and get kills plenty of times. The issue is with time. If you commit off stage with your body, I mean, Link's recovery is kind of slow. You're not really going to make it back onto stage in time to get a true ledge trap, and I think Link excels a lot more in that than going off stage for the edge guard. So instead, when they do have the time, they throw the bomb out, interrupt the recovery, force Bowser to take percent after percent after percent, and I think that's what you should stick with. If you get too confident, too cocky going off stage, you're going to get reversal eventually. A player of Rito's caliber is not going to let you get away with aggressive edge guards every time. If you go off stage, you have to guarantee that you're going to get the kill.
You're absolutely right. And on a map so peaceful, why must this be the bloodiest battle? Rito looking to go in. But that was one of Link's own specials. That's not often we get to see someone actually use it. But hey, gets a little bit damage in, helps to lead into the grab, but Rito is more than prepared to counterplay against it. Look at that. Did less hits, but same damage.
Yeah, is now just trading out here. And again, heavier characters always benefit from these trades, because that means they're one read away from a kill.
And they keep pushing forward. Look at that. The aggression that we were theorizing about now there, though Darth kind of misinterprets what was going to happen. Able to get back on without too much care in the world, but Rito's playing Mario Kart right now. Gets hit by the blue shell and yet still returns to this fight.
And I love Rito, or Darth Wampa abusing. Oof. I love that. Get the ledge trump right there, force them off the stage, and that time they're able to pressure them with the flame breath because of the ledge regrab. Now, just hammering away at them. Both players sent flying off by that bomb, but it's Rito who's a little more hurt by that. But even without the platform, they're actually able to survive, just barely.
Look at that! Able to get the kill. Darth gotta be feeling proud. They got knocked in, but I mean, the guard is there. The flamethrower is on the side. Even if Darth is able to get back, I mean, this grab should finish it off, meaning they've returned back into this very uncomfortable point of who's going to get that first hit, who's going to start getting in the damage. It seems Darth really wants to take that in, even using the 0% special ability.
Yeah, as it's just a great tool in Link's kit, as you're still using it. Now, thrown out. That bomb will not catch you on the ledge, and you're trying to shield that, but that flame will almost always poke unless you get the parry into the jump. Beautiful from Darth Wampa right there. I thought it was going to be a shield poke for sure.
What is with Hawaii and learning to adapt? I mean, maybe it's just Darth, maybe it was just because of the last round and showing off themselves, but Darth is now changing up the speed of the game. Just notice how Rito is at this high damage, not able to really move as well as they want. And with that air, he managed to send them right down to Tom Nook to pay off those bills.
Yeah, and now you're on your last stock. Bowser is definitely a clutch character, but how do you get an opening? This up B, I feel like this is the opening that you needed. You need just a no-nonsense move that's like, okay, I need you to stop pushing buttons in my face. I need you to reconsider every single option you go for. But when you're being carried across the stage by a combination of bombs and swords, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to up B when you can't even get to the ground?
Flamethrower doing its job, forces them into the air. And I mean, the grab says it all. you just got smashed. Now, Rito is the one more re-engaging back onto this point, but who's the one that really should be looking first? I mean, Rito is the one being pushed back as far as possible, but Darth is more reacting, setting up these traps.
And that reactionary playstyle is paying off much better. You react to them throwing out the flame breath, and you get a big punish. But hey, there's a little punish for you as well. The side B, catching up. Rito, though, struggling to find any more hits than that. You can see they're fishing for confirms. Oh, they're able to shield that, get even more damage, 72%. One read at the ledge will kill. Remember, the score is 1-1 right now.
Not the side B. The side B's just been working so well, but the grab launches them. They misinterpreted what was going to happen. Now, Rito, you've got to walk back in. You get grabbed, your shell gets kicked, the bomb gets thrown down, and you get knocked into the stage once more to be sent back to your spawn room. It just seems Hawaii, they're ready.
Yeah, that was beautiful right there. But you know what it was right at the end? Rito ran off to try and get an edge guard, which means they had to run. They had to get back onto stage. Rito is living to these ludicrous percent, but every single time, you remember what I was saying about why shouldn't Darth Wampa go off stage? Rito is getting punished so hard. Darth Wampa sees them go off stage, and a light goes off in their brain, and they're like, go time to obliterate this dragon.
Honestly, I think if you have a character that can just, like, go off the stage, get a couple hits, quite possibly, and then freely get back on, I don't see why you don't. Unless your opponent is already back on the stage, then you're just weird.
That is the thing. Even when you have a character like Bowser with an amazing recovery, you still give up control. You give up an opportunity to trap them there. And obviously you want that low percent kill. Maybe there in the last stock was a good thing, but being off stage led them being grabbed. Being grabbed put them off stage, which put them in an opportunity to miss that tech and die. Going off stage gives you the opportunity to die. And as big of an opportunity is to take the swing, to take the stock early, sometimes giving up that position consistently is the worst thing you can do. And Darth Wampa sees that. Money signs roll into their eyes. It's all sevens, and they are there to get the follow-up.
Yeah, but moving into the middle portion of tonight, seems both Pyro and Sora, not the characters, but the players, will be the next round about Hawaii. They're not too far out, but what could we look at for a possible kind of taking in that lead? Because 11-3, what I think is a little bigger than I expected.
Well, that is the Hawaii special. Sometimes they actually go down to the wire, but they're always just ahead enough that they don't have to worry too much about winning outright. They just need to play the lead that they have. Now, Pyro is one of the new stars coming into the spring split for Hawaii, a duck hunt specialist. And when we say specialist, we don't just mean main, I mean specialist. They know all the ins and outs. They know every single little thing about this character. They know how to cover their uppies. They know how to position these traps. They know how to confirm their kills. You've got to watch out for the precision and sharpshooting that this duck hunt brings to the table.
It's what I like to see. I just like Duck Hunt, you know? I think Duck Hunt's always one of those characters that is really fun to watch, and that's solely because of just the many possibilities, especially last week, the usage of the can. Do you remember that?
Oh, I certainly do. I mean, the way they use the can aggressively to set up traps as a combo breaker, as it comes out on frame 1, and if you hit it with the wrong hitbox, it's just gonna blow up in your face. And also to aid the recovery, because Duck Hunt is no hitbox on the recovery. However, they can throw the can out and put the can up with them as they recover, and that alone gives you so much more versatility.
I think the folks listening in, they're very excited to see how that's going to work, though there is going to be a button check, so we want to, tease you a little more. PS2 will be the map that we walk out on. And, well, I think we can talk a little bit more about the possible matchup going in.
I mean, again, I'm not sure who Sora is running. I want to say Sora, but I know for a fact that they don't run Sora because I remember that was what we talked about in our previous Sacramento State set. I just haven't seen them enough. They're a newcomer to the league, remember. They're still getting used to this format. So it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to cope with it against Hawaii. Thus far, it has not gone amazing, but it's gone better than a lot of teams would usually start out. Hawaii has been sweating, but they've still managed to cinch out the victory every time. Against Pyro, maybe you have another opportunity. Catch them before the setups can be established. It's like catching Steve before they get resources. If you're able to catch Duck Hunt before they deploy all their projectiles, all of their gunmen, then maybe you have a chance. But if you let them set up the Rube Goldberg machine, then it's going to enact its wicked scheme upon you.
Gotta be honest, I'll give you props. That was a beautiful simile when it comes down to it. But these players still... I think the Sora, I can see Sora walking out with the Sora, but, going up against a character like Duck Hunt, who's strong against?
I can't really say. Characters, I mean, obviously you could just go for a better zoner. Like, Snake is just better Duck Hunt in almost every sense of the word. Also, Pac-Man in general does well against the fellow zoners. However, we are getting into it now, and it is going to be the Rob coming out from Sora, which maybe an incorrect stage right here, but either way. While we're getting this out, the Rob gives infinite possibilities. Rob, one of the most versatile characters in the game. Talked about a fellow zoner. Rob is just that. But also, once they get in and get the hit, Rob also boxes you out like an S tier.
Ooh. I mean, that is true. Rob has just always looked really nice, and we've got to see some creative plays, but Rob does have those projectiles to go up against. How well does that kind of go up against the Duck Hunt? Because Duck Hunt, obviously, we talked about it, the frames, and, well, the can itself.
Now, that is true. That's good to point out. Rob has some tremendous game-breaking combos. However, I don't know if they're all one frame perfect. Duck Hunt's can is frame 1. The thing you can do, though, that makes Duck Hunt worse than Snake, Snake has 2 grenades he can pull out, so pretty much he can always pull that grenade. Duck Hunt does not. If the can is somewhere on stage and you catch Duck Hunt in a combo, there's no combo breaker.
Now, this is where they start getting to move. Sora is doing nice to close the distance, especially with their little Beyblade, as I tend to call it, to stopping. We do see the man coming in, gets hit. Poor Soul was just doing his 9 to 5. The beans getting knocked back. My goodness, projectiles are everywhere.
Now, get that landing nair. I think the nair is Rob's best tool, in my opinion. Setting up for so much. Confirmed higher percents, a disjoint, a landing. It literally covers Rob's entire body. It's a sphere of death around him. But speaking of death, you're trying to lead them up onto that platform with that clay pigeon, but it's not enough. You're not able to quite confirm into it.
Quite throwing that a little bit on the wrong side. You're eventually going to just switch at every point. Poor Sora is trying to get some form of kill in here, but has to be stuck inside this uncomfortable range. We see the bean end up hitting the Duck Hunt. Poor Soul, their own can. What are they going to be making for dinner when Sora just walks into your house, steals it, and uses it against yourself? Now you're on the edge. Well, how good is Rob's edge guard?
How good is Rob's edge guarding? Well, let's just say you better be using that can effectively, because if not, you could die at literally 30%. You could die at almost anything. Rob has ledge trapping, edge guarding, any tool you could want. They pressure your shield with that down tilt into the grab, and immediately they read that slow mesh into the up air. Rob, the constant, non-stop barrage of threats from any range. And even though you can combo them, even though you can combo break, you still have to respect the robot.
And yet, I mean, Pyro respects no one but Duck Hunt themselves. Probably plays it in VR too. That's how skilled they are. As we see them continuing to push forward. Sora now at kill percentage. You killed yourself, unfortunately enough. It seems that the beans were going to be a little bit too explosive.
That is the other problem. Like I said, even though Duck Hunt arguably has more setups than Snake, no, that's not true. The combo breaker that Duck Hunt brings to the table only works at lower percents, because unlike grenades, Duck Hunt's can kills, which is an asset and a detriment, as you can see here. But we might see it kill here, as yeah, you use it to break out of that fair right away.
Damage is there, but I mean, at 155, the beans could do so much. We see it get shot a little bit far back, but is eventually going to break. However, you forgot Alejandro, who's ready. I give them all names, all right? Who's ready just to get some damage in, but we're not with the character who's having so many prime opportunities. How come Sora isn't looking to take them?
I mean, it's just a difference in practice, in my opinion, and I don't even think that's unfair to say to Sora as, oh, you're able to use that massively disjointed down air to catch Duck Hunt's slow recovery. But think about how much time Pyro has spent in the lab perfecting this, wacky character in the form of Duck Hunt. Whereas, obviously Sora is well practiced, but you're up against something you don't understand, a threat, and fear. You only have to be scared of two things: fear itself and Rob's side B at ledge, as Pyro goes way high to avoid it.
Look at this, though. They continue to throw the beans. I love talking about the beans so much. My favorite ability. Look at that, going to be hitting Pyro. Not feeling the greatest, though. You do see them not be able to kind of finish it off. Duck Hunt has the recovery to be able to return. Throwing the beans! Ooh. You weren't ready for it!
Like I said, you cover your recovery with that. I said Rob's edge guarding is amazing, the ledge trapping is amazing, but you've got to be aware that there is not one thing recovering, it is two. That time they used the gyro to nullify it, and they actually hit it back with that side B, trying to drop down, get the strong hit of that weak charge laser, but it doesn't come out. Both at kill percent right now, sniping them across the stage with the laser, with the gunman, with the 6-shooter, finishes off Rob at that clutch high noon situation, and you're able to get a lead for Hawaii again.
You never expect Antonio to come out and manage to get this, and it's not Alejandro. Don't get them, mixed up. They're two different people, but still, that was incredibly clutch. The Rob had so many opportunities and possibilities to go through and take that kill, especially with Pyro wanting to come back on stage, and yet Sora was so focused in, not able to get it out in the end.
And I did love the way that Sora would box. I think their grounded movement was what impressed me the most. The way they would rush in with the down tilts into the grabs and use that to confirm into kills. That was beautiful. However, I hate to sit here and call out inexperience, but the gunman I feel like is the one aspect that they weren't ready for. They were DIing the clay pigeon combos correctly, avoiding those kill confirms. They were somewhat avoiding the can. The can would catch them occasionally as a combo breaker, as a recovery tool, but the gunmen took 2 of their stocks. You can't ignore that when looking at the match as a whole. Kablamo.
Poor Rob put into decommission, but not quite yet. Gonna be having more room, 12 to 13. They're still going down to the edge, Kilo, and I'm loving it for every second it goes through.
Yeah, as now, down to the wire. We saw this before, remember? Game 1, it went down to the wire and Cheesebrain dropped it, and then the adaptation of Hawaii came out. One of the most coached teams in the entire league. Let's see if the adaptation comes out again as Pyro takes on the run back against Sora. Or is Sora going to clean up their gameplay?
They're being speedy, so it's not too much to...
Into the Nair, 44% already?
Some people are just more than ready, and Sora has just put up the pace. Though that beam does get blocked out, they're playing on the edge. Pyro gets a little bit of a switch, but it gets knocked back. It's not in a prime position to help until you get knocked into it.
And now, just using this Nair as the zoning tool that it is, but able to air dodge right through it. Intelligent move by Pyro to get back on the stage, but you've got to get around this ledge trapping. The gyro at ledge forces you to jump and air dodge. That's not enough. And even bopping that can a little bit damages you both. It puts you right back into the position you were trying to escape.
Look at that, though. Pyro freely playing underneath the stage is not going to help when you end up getting back on and you lose that stock. It seems that Sora has changed the pace, and I mean, what's looking different?
It's the ledge trapping. They got a stock off of it, a full stock, and that's not something you can overlook. As now, the gyro sitting in center stage, it finally stops spinning, but that's not before. They come out with the constant barrage, controlling the ground with the gunman before jumping up to try and edgeguard Rob. But the high recovery makes it so versatile.
Yep, we see the can being thrown out. It isn't going to land, so you're going to hope to grab your opponent, push them a little bit to the side. But with it gone, you're basically able to throw another one in. And yet Sora continues to play at this distance until you manage to get that hit. You get the grab, you throw him into the sky, and you're looking to size them up as now Sora is very much in a good lead.
Oh, very good lead indeed. Remember I was saying, oh yeah, Cheesebrain got the 3 stock afterwards? We were looking at the wrong character. We're like, oh yeah, Hawaii's coaching. No, Sora coming in with the amazing adaptation right there against a player who is no slouch. Pyro's been demonstrating that as they do right there, catching that jump, but you've still got a mountain to climb.
Oh, it's a big mountain. We talk about Bowser being a comeback character, but Duck Hunt is a new meaning to what might happen. They are still looking to play at this mid-distance. We see the man shooting out, but the beam isn't going to be able to take them. The can is what we should be paying attention to. That can is, I feel like it's controlling who goes where.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. But Rob's got plenty of tools with that too. With the gyro, with the laser, a long-range poking tool that's almost instantaneous for most people. As there, you have to deal with the gunman as well. You're being boxed into a corner while Duck Hunt is still in center.
I mean, the Duck Hunt's still the one who's getting hit. For somebody who's stuck in one spot in box, they are more than ready to cut through it. As Pyro now has the can on to the opposite direction, looking to just force you into it, manages to get you off. A beautiful hit with it. There is a lot of shield pressure going in, but look at that. Sora does not care, continues to go, looking to get this kill, especially at 83. This is some good percentage.
And this time, it's Sora boxing Pyro into the corner. And now, we have the ledge trapping again. They go to read a jump, and then read a neutral get up. But a nice ledge hop from Pyro gets them off stage for now. They are at kill percent, but they've got to be careful. Dash attack right now. Nice burst option. Side B at ledge. Is it enough? Yes! Sora puts 2 more points on the board for University of Sacramento. And now they've taken us to a Game 3. A lot of Game 3s here in this final match of the night.
Honestly, I just think it's that they don't want to go out in any other way than glory, the way I'm seeing it. And, I mean, can I just point out, I love the animations they put into this game. The duck is just so funny when they get hit off. But look at that. It's one of the beautiful examples of just... I think what I want to be seeing more out of Sora, I think that was just so good. And I don't really know what Pyro can kind of do to play against it other than just... can it?
Yeah, as now... I don't know. I like the way they're using the can aggressively. You don't want to keep it in reserve. And I actually love that. I didn't notice that before. They hit the can off. Because if they get caught in a combo, they want the ability to use it as a combo breaker. But again, it doesn't work forever. If you try and combo break with it forever, you're going to kill yourself like you see in Game 1.
That's a really fair point. And I mean, Pyro came really close, just underestimated the range as Sora now showing, and also leading in the stocks now, is looking pretty good. And I mean, is that just the Rob effect, especially when a player is starting to adapt and learn the more they play?
I really think it is. Rob punishes you hard for learning your habits. If Rob knows you're going to jump off ledge, they can punish that in a myriad of ways, whether it be up air, a nice chunky damage punishing move that, I mean, you really do just have to read that someone will be in a generic area at some point, or you can read that you're getting a neutral get up, and I mean, you saw that side B at the end of that game. Ooh, that obliterated them, and if you somehow manage to carry them off the stage with it, they're just dead. They're gone. The set knockback on that, or base knockback rather, is one of the highest in the entire game for a move that will carry you closer to the blast zone as well. Brutal.
But when going on to Battlefield, this is nothing like we've seen before. How is the can gonna work when there are so many platforms?
You're asking me to understand a lot about Duck Hunt right now, and I know, oh my gosh, you're going Pyro Mithra. Okay, Pyro forced off the character they specialize in onto the Aegis. Now, this is a character who famously made the best Rob in the world switch off of Rob, so maybe Pyro knows something we don't.
I can definitely see it. I've got to ask you all the questions because sometimes these players, they catch me off guard that I can never predict what's going on, as we see Sora being able to stop the Mithra from really moving in. Look at that, the close range character moving away.
I mean, ooh. Now, they're going for the zoning, because you do not want to box that much with Pyro Mithra. Because if you mess up, then you're in a disadvantage for a whole long while. Just one there. Is that all you got? Ooh. Yeah, it feels like Pyro does not want to approach them in the corner until they have a good read on how they're going to be. Going over to the Pyro at such a low percent, though? That's interesting.
I mean, it's those adaptations that they're looking for, any type of change, though. It's the grab that is going to hurt. You are able to survive it. That's not going to be the bigger problem. It's the side B. You're leaving your sword out a lot of the times when your opponent really isn't in that range.
And now you're playing the zoning game against Rob, which is not a terrible thing to do. However, Pyro only has really one tool to zone with, besides her amazing aerials. Rob also has amazing aerials, but also has the projectiles to poke at you from long range. In the range game, Rob is always going to come out on top.
And yet, the changing of the pace, Sora has not fully adapted to it at kill percentage themselves, and I mean, we know what Pyro can do at this kill percentage. It's what we talk about. I think the Rob really needs to start exploiting what they're good at more often than not. Getting caught, but not dead yet.
And it's Pyro has gotten in Sora's head, forcing them to come in when at the beginning of the game they just were not, as this out hit of down air will finish them off.
Look at that, though. It is a quick trade after they switch over to Mithra. Now we have to see what they look to use with this character. Most of that damage really came off of the Pyro, but against Sora, look at this, changing the way that they really want to go in. Now, returning back, not fully engaging, but not fully disengaging from this.
Not at all. Excuse me. As at this point, it's the boxing tools on the ground, that down tilt, and it leads into the grab. This means it's a juggle situation that Mithra does struggle a little bit getting down from. With foresight, it makes it a lot easier. However, not able to cleanly do it.
Look at that. Air dodge more than enough just to get back on. You know, it's interesting also to see just so many of the side Bs come through. It's like Sora's just kind of looking at it, spinning, and is being mesmerized. Maybe that's the whole point of it. Able to jump, blast through, looking for these grabs. Neither's going to land because they don't even attempt for it. It's just playing onto the edge. That's their favorite game.
And Rob returns the laser right as the sword comes out to Pyro. And now, with the up B, ooh. Mithra may have good landing options, but Pyro really only has the down air as the mix-up.
You're right. Look at that. Oh, no.
That's unfortunate. Now Pyro has to find a way around this. Where do you find the way in?
It's not going to be feeling too great. I think at this point, you just look to finish off Sora's stock, especially as a character like this. However, look at that. Sora got your advice, listened to it closely, and is now playing that distance. Though they don't get hit with any form of a frame difference, they are able to return, dodge that sword, and continue back to throwing in the gyros.
Yeah. Now, spacing around that Nair, the only move that can really contest Pyro's aerials, as there we go. You get that side B on lock, and you get the spike as well. All right, now back to Mythra. For these early 30% before going back to Pyra, Pyra immediately. Feeling a lot more confident in that. Sora not really demonstrating much ability to deal with the Blazing Edge.
Ability to do it, or maybe just lack of care going up against it, is going to get hit by it as they try to return. And Kilo was not expecting them to be at such a close percentage, though Pyro definitely still has to respect living up to the name with the fiery spirit of even with this character. Sora is, well, playing that distance, looking to go back, looking to knock them off, isn't able to follow up with the laser, but that gyro is still very much up.
Yep, and if you're able to get a ledge trap with that gyro, it'd be nice. But Sora, now, in a bit of a tight situation. Ooh, the stare down right there inside the shield. They're able to avoid it. You can see Sora completely slowing the pace of the game down.
Sora's saying, you know what, I'm just gonna get this chip damage, and then eventually I'm gonna hit you so hard that I manage to take you out, and this may be a prime opportunity. They get caught without their shield, and eventually the Rob manages... No way. Well, can't recover from that.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt. After almost clutching it out, Pyro defeated by Rob overcoming that problem matchup, and Sora getting a win on the board for Sacramento State. Hawaii still holding the lead, but that is a pretty monumental swing right here. It means Game 4 is gonna be that much more important.
I mean, I agree with this point. Point difference kind of lessening more. I mean, what are we looking at right now for a possible comeback potential?
I mean, you have to battle through the captain. You have to battle through some other very consistent members. It's not going to be easy, but Sacramento State still's got some swingers in their back pocket. So if they're able to find that, damage, well, they're able to take out Pyro, who is already listed as one of the best new assets. We'll see what else they're able to bring to the table in just a little bit. Now, we are going to take a very brief halftime break in just a little bit as the players get ready to go into the latter half where all of this is decided. 8-12, we're down to the wire. So stay tuned. We will be back in a few minutes, just 3, as we will see the conclusion of this match. Welcome back, everybody. From the break, we are here getting into the latter half of University of Hawaii against Sacramento State. After an upset right there, as Sora was able to win it out over Pyro of University of Hawaii, we're looking at a very close game. But Hawaii does like playing with a lead, and they got 4 points to play with here.
Yep. And, well, there are still, well, 2 more rounds, well, 2 more matches in the least, to kind of set up the pace. So Sacramento, they can still kind of win this one out, with one stock on both things, that I think have a very sizable chance. Hawaii, I think they really need to kind of throw in those heavy hitters and start punching through.
And, well, we do have a little bit of a substitution from Hawaii. They're sending in a player named Coffee-kun, who is not someone we'd usually see. Usually we see Not Christian coming around there, an amazingly consistent Game & Watch player. However, Coffee-kun, well, they're a new addition to my list. Meanwhile, it is going to be Schleim coming in from Sac State. Yeah, I knew I had them written down there. But either way, 2 kind of newer players who don't always come out. So after we're getting a tiny bit of an air with the controls all figured out, we'll be getting into this to see these new challengers step up to the plate. And yeah, as we said, new player subbing in, so may not have all the controls on lock, but either way, now we finally get to see where this match will be taking us, as it's going to be the Falco from Coffee-kun against Schleim's Villager.
We already see them coming out. Schleim having the face of a menace. The Reflector able to just kind of ruin what Schleim's plan was going to be. I mean, Coffee looks more than prepared. How does the Villager really match up against the Falco?
Now, the thing is, Villager can get some nice edge guards, perhaps, if you're ever forcing them to recover straight up. However, in this neutral game, you've got to watch out, because Falco can just invalidate so many tools with that frame 1 reflector. If you become reliant on it, then Schleim can capitalize. However, in most cases, a lot of the pressure can be mitigated.
I think Schleim is just prepared, trying to condition them. Like, hey, look at all these projectiles, Coffee. I bet you want to use your reflector on them. But Coffee's like, no, I must not use my reflector. I must jump at you. Look at that. They're so focused on using it, they weren't prepared for the moves of the Schleim just continuing to push forward. Though moving at this distance, it does seem the pot is going to get reflected. And a little swipe and a kick, managing to take that stock.
And so many of the normal moves are projectiles. Even your own dash attack turned against you. The flowers are evil and they're looking to hurt us, as now Schleim, playing from a stock down, needs to find a way to get this early kill. And even when you're not, you can't even use your forward airs as poke tools, as Schleim just doesn't have the speed to go in and punish. Like, I'm trying to think, like with the slower projectiles, they can pocket the reflected damage and get even more punish off of it. However, they're not even getting the opportunity to do that off of the forward airs. And they're not even if they miss that, they're still not even getting it. They're even trying to pocket this, what's it called? The Lloyd Rocket. But I actually like the use of the tree there, though, to get rid of that harassment tool.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just the reaction time being so low to try to pocket everything. And unless you're expecting it, it's not really going to be working out too well, though. Schleim is now getting some room, knocking that Falco into the air. Look at that. You're just trying to go for a hit. Bam, forehead. You're not even going to be able to last for too long. Throwing that onto the opposite side was a big debate as they grab you. And then they're going to plant the tree in your eye.
Now, returning to this platform where you're safe. Not the greatest vertical burst options, Villager, as you do miss that juggle, but you're fine. You've still got them all saved. Trying not to get over easy as... Ooh! Reflecting that Lloyd Rocket is going to be instant death for you when you're inside of it.
Betrayed by your own weapons. How could this have been foretold? Now, they continue to move forward, though it misses out solely because you jumped a little bit too high. Dodging that grab is going to do wonders when it comes down to the damage in the end. No boxing gloves coming in here. We only have winged feathers just to be able to slash through, and this is getting really close to kill potential.
I love that drag down into the up tilt right there to set up for more damage. However, you're going to need more than that right there. You need this kill confirm, as you don't want to let Villager run away with this. In the slower situation, it could get kind of brutal. But the fact that you're able to disrupt Villager's recovery and neutral game to this degree has forced Slime to completely rethink their game plan. And rethinking on the fly is something a lot of players are not the best at. Great move from Coffee-kun right there to throw a wrench in every single gear that the Villager is putting out.
Honestly, I think having to change during the fight can be so stressful, especially when you're the person on the back foot. I mean, you have to worry about the opponent who's continuously moving forward, getting in that damage, while you're trying to figure out, what do I do? What do I change? How do I take this engagement? Coffee just knew what to do and was well prepared. Now Hawaii, in a more favorable spot. Now Slime, though, I feel that round can help them, and especially against the Falco. Do you want to be seeing a lot more of these pockets being used?
I honestly don't know. I feel like the pocket is obviously a good tool we didn't see any use of, but where do you use it? I think you have to save it for any possible defensive option you may need to do. I think the pocket needs to be a purely defensive option, not offensive, because it's really your only recourse against the pressure that this Falco reflector puts on you. And think about this reflector. It's also a hitbox. You see Falco using it to harass you, even if you're not reflecting a move.
It just worked so well. Frame 1, right?
Yep. I mean, the hitbox isn't frame 1, but the reflector is. As you're literally getting completely off of that, going to a very slimy character, onto the Inkling.
I mean, you've got to respect the grind. Going in, setting up. We got to see the Inkling from before, but now it gets a character similar to its own style. We're going to see how effective it works. Knocked up into the air. A little bit of a boot, but they'll be returning basically perfectly fine.
Coffee-kun here, very nice stuff. Chaining those up airs together. A nice little horizontal combo right there from Slime, but they're having trouble getting in, based purely off of the threat of Falco. Finally weaving their way in. They get some pain on them and some damage, but not before they get sent off stage.
Oh no, look at that slam through, but they are going to be caught. It's unfortunate that they don't manage to, react to it. Going to be able to get that follow-up, and now Coffee, very angry, saying, don't you ever do that again. It's knocking them off the stage, looking to stun, but not able to come back.
Inkling. That is tough. That's very tough to deal with, as now you're down a stock and you can only kick yourself for it, but you can't be hurting yourself, because right now, this is your last chance. You can't let Hawaii run away with this like they always do in the second half of games.
And now, well, look, Slime is looking to move. Not really looking to use projectiles, maybe suffering a little bit too scared to try and just pop them out, but the Falco still on that engagement. I love the fact, not scared even at this high percentage. Gets the reflect last second, and, well, Slime can't really push into that.
Yeah, as now, playing around that platform movement, you could tell Coffee-kun was just sitting there gathering data, trying to figure it out. Tries to go for reflector right there, but gets themselves bombed instead.
Look at that. This may be a double-edged sword, as we saw them just trying to get that hit off the edge onto the Falco at 162, but it just seems the slam is going to be more than enough into the air. And now Coffee a little angry because they were having some flow work in, and for it to be ruined, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be feeling too happy. Now just taking their time, looking for that opening.
Some simple bread and butters and counter hits is what Slime is finding. But you need more than that when you're getting hard red on your air dodge in.
That's not going to be feeling too great at all, because now you're not looking the best when it comes down to stock-wise. You're already being thrown up into the air. Maybe it's because, you know, you're a bright squid and you kind of get caught out. But what is the resource that Coffee is forcing to be not used? I think it's kind of everything.
And the rapid jab's right there. Going to catch them. Ooh, a nice bait, though, as you actually bait. Oh, I thought we were going to see another gimp, but it might just be a spike instead. The pressure now on the platform. They can't seem to find a way down. Where's all that movement you had before, Slime? Because now you're forced to look for that, but they were ready. The Coffee Coon is in their head. The up smashes, the up tilts, constant pressure. This platform is their domain, and you are not allowed to touch it.
Coffee's got legs for days. Being able to just, you know, get a little bit of a stretch, and Wii Fit Trainer would feel so proud. Even Fox would feel proud. Just look at that. Sending Slime out of the stratosphere, and correct me if I'm wrong, but quite possibly securing the win.
I would need to check on the stocks. Oh, yeah. But either way, it's going to be incredibly difficult. Because Hawaii, I'm expecting Gray to come in now, the team captain of Hawaii, but they still got plenty of other players too. And Apps is going to be your one chance to do it. Who does Sacramento have in their back pocket? That's going to be what you've got to keep your eye out for.
I agree. You know, that's kind of why, you know, I say quite possibly it's 18-8. Whatever you do, you've got to just go up. There is no down. There is no, oh, I lost that stock. Tee hee hee. I think you have to go Donkey Kong mode. Though not actually Donkey Kong mode, I do have to give that preface because it can be misleading.
Yeah, I feel like against Gray's PT, I think at the same time there is no correct pick and every character is correct. Because Gray, well, it's the good coverall option. Pokemon Trainer can accommodate for their own losing matchups with their own characters. Now, here's the thing. It's not just the character. Gray is the captain for a reason. They work hand in hand, side by side with their coach to develop these game plans, to lead their team to victory in these struggle situations. This is their element in these clutch situations. All they need to do is, I mean, they've already won, like you said. They secured that victory, but now Gray needs to play in style.
We are going to be seeing Appa walk into this as well. So while we get that button check in, I need you to pull up that little laptop, see the notes I need to hack in. What are we looking at?
No idea that so far, as it's looking like they, again, any character could be good and then no character can be. Pokemon Trainer can invalidate zoners thanks to Ivysaur just slowly taking this space away and then having the kill confirms to do it too. And then can fight blow for blow in heavy matchups, but they usually don't need to because they got the Squirtle to rack up the damage, and Charizard is always there when you need to clutch out most. And we're going to Town and City. Now, you want a lot of space. What characters want a lot of space? I mean, fast characters love it. However, I can't make a confident statement here. The thing is, I really do think Gray's consistency speaks volumes. If I'm thinking of the right PT, a lot of PTs in the EGF, Gray is so scary on that Squirtle. The Squirtle is the thing that racks up the most damage, and they're a rare PT who actually finds a lot of kills on Squirtle as well.
I think a lot of people put a bunch of focus onto the pollen character themselves. You know, the allergy is always in the nose. People are sneezing, never knowing what's going on because Ivysaur somehow is always able to get up that damage, secure a stock, and then if you have to, that's when people go with the Charizard.
Yeah, that's generally when you want to be doing it. When it's your last resort. I mean, other some people go to the Charizard because they have an amazing out-of-shield option. They stick to the Charizard when you're at high percents. It's not only a last resort, but that is the generic use of it. And to me, Gray has always favored heavily that Squirtle, that earlier percent damage. The Charizard is not always their go-to.
It's going to see how this works out. I've been loving how Gray performs, and I'm wondering, will this be the day that Gray accidentally slips on a banana peel? You know? Will this be the day that Gray quite accidentally falls off the stage and not, paying attention to hypotheticals or whatever, but Gray has never, I think, let us down. The consistency, as you said, has just been there, and it's been strong.
Yeah, it certainly has been, as now we're getting into the match. It's going to be the Captain Falcon. Appa looking to clutch out here and now with a strong punish game. Maybe you can contend with the Squirtle, but landing that initial hit is going to be difficult.
Earlier I wanted to talk about the Captain Falcon, and that's just because I like the knee. But, I don't think you're gonna have an opportunity to use against it, because Gray is already playing on that edge, getting some good damage in. And, well, this poor Captain Falcon, what are you gonna be doing against such a tiny foe?
Well, now you don't have to deal with them, but now the ground game is more controlled. You're gonna see Falcon on the platforms a lot more.
Now, you say that, but then instantly the platforms, they're going to leave the Captain Falcon's own to help. They tried going in for that slam. No, poor soul. You got hit, and now you're not being allowed back onto the stage. What did they do to deserve this?
No. Okay. Looking for this to confirm as best you can. Appa, there's your big opening. You get the up airs. You don't quite read the air dodge, but they go down to, the ground where they're not really punished for it. Looking for the rapid jab. Please, any hitbox shift. Please let me hit them, but it wasn't connect. And now you're faced with the challenge of trying to connect with this Ivysaur at mid-percents.
In my opinion, it just looked like Appa was just saying, please walk into it several times over, but unfortunately is going to get called out, and the poor Captain Falcon may not get back onto the stage, though thankfully is going to be getting back in, wants to show off as much as they can. Gray, the Ivysaur, takes another stop.
Yeah, now that up smash pressure on shield, that's not going to net you anything. Ooh, now you're being juggled. And even though Appa looked like they had a game plan in the beginning, Gray has made it almost impossible to follow it. Scooping up with the up air, what else can you get?
Well, it looks like a guard of any sense, but that Ivysaur has such a long range to recover. Is it really going to be too much of a problem? Hopefully, Captain Falcon doesn't have any allergies, as we saw. Pollen starting to spread throughout the air. Gray is at such a high percentage. Will the Charizard be needed? I don't know quite exactly, because look at this. Gray is prepared fully to die on this Ivysaur.
Yeah, they are. Oh, that is a hard read. Not only did they have that read, they waited for it. That was some wind-up right there, as Gray takes that first set game in style. Okay,
so all I'm saying is that Gray didn't need to do them dirty like that, this isn't necessary.
Hey, what's up, man?
Gray went AFK for 2 seconds, and then you ain't need to do him like that. Why did Pokemon Trainer have to look in the screen?
Gray knew about that spot dodge before Appa had even conceived of doing it.
And then the poor grab jab. This does not look too good. Now, though, moving into the second round, the Captain Falcon may switch off. Don't know how well you really want to stick on to that. Did the Captain Falcon even have an opportunity to kind of set up what they were planning to?
I mean, they did. There was one moment of brilliance where they hit a Raptor boost on stock 2, and they got up air, and then they waited for the air dodge, and then they weren't quite able to finish it off. But that's the thing. You've got to make sure your punish game is perfect against it. Because otherwise, you're just going to be dropping these combos. You know Gray's not going to give you many opportunities to get another one. Now, here's the thing. You got to keep in mind. Just because Captain Falcon is not the choice doesn't mean there's another magical counter pick out there. PT is going to do this to all of them. They're going to play their game against all of them. I mean, you can jump to a top tier, but I think stick to your guns, try and clean up the punish game that you know you have. You know you can hit it in training mode. You just got to transfer it here to the tournament.
I think this is where your confidence has to come in. You have to trust yourself, and if Yoshi's the character that comes with that trust, I fully respect it. You're going in immediately to the Ivysaur, though, so Gray may already be respecting you. Well, just wanting to be as cautious as possible.
Now, forward air right there. I'm going to catch them, but a nice use of disjoints right there to just box out Yoshi for a moment. Oh, this jab lock string straight across the stage. Already Gray at a deficit. This is the counter pick we're looking for. But as good as Yoshi's up air is, Ivysaur goes, hey, check this one out.
I mean, Yoshi is most likely higher on the...
Oh! But that spike right there, the immediate reversal.
I don't even have words to say. I was trying to go in for a color code joke, and yet they weren't ready to play one at all. They do manage to go through that side. I don't think Gray was fully expecting it. Look at that. Able to block through the head smash for Gray now on the back end, while still being able to force that Yoshi into the sky. It's not looking too great until they manage to get that stock switch over to the Ivysaur and maybe feeling a bit more confident.
We have two green dinosaurs going at it, but at the moment, it is Gray who has the edge in this neutral thanks to the Razor Leaf. This slow-moving projectile with varying degrees of control. It means that Appa really can't feel safe in any space in front of Gray, because at some point it's going to be occupied by that. As now you're sent off stage, still have your double jump, you're able to get back, use your egg, and reading that roll in hard with that up smash. Now, on the side platform, able to get that tech chase, not quite.
Able to land it cleanly. Gray is now starting to figure out what they want to do, but the Yoshi has definitely put Gray in an uncomfortable situation, I would say.
Oh yeah, they have. As, ooh, get the tether back. Are they dead? There's no way you can get back with no jump. They weren't able to get the up air dodge. They're out of there. And Appa defeated by the captain of the University of Hawaii, showing why they are in that role, dominating the Captain Falcon. And then, even though Appa put up a greater fight as the Yoshi, they weren't able to keep up that momentum for long before the Ivysaur took it out of their sails.
I mean, you know, when I was saying that Gray was fully adapting and figuring out what to go in, I meant more of Gray was doing a lot better. Gray was figuring out how to play against this Yoshi, not how to stop them from getting back on the stage. That's not something that I ever could have imagined.
And just the nature of Ivysaur's down air is a stock taker. I've only seen one person ever take stocks like this, and I mean, getting those early percent gimps on Yoshi is how you like to usually do things, but it doesn't always work out like that. Not in the slightest. So the fact that Gray had the clarity of mind to go for a play like that speaks volumes to me about their experience.
Yeah, but now we'll be able to talk to one of the players of Hawaii, maybe get a sense, maybe even Gray themselves. So we'll just have to see. Make sure you stay tuned in because you'll want to figure out what they'll say after this quick break. after an impressive showcasing all night, we finally get to the end. University of Hawaii taking the victory, and Gray, the player who showed us something that I don't think we were ready to see, managing to arrive in the interviewing space. How are you doing, Gray?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I gotta say, I'm doing a little disturbed after the murder you just committed.
I didn't know such thing.
Yeah, I mean, putting on a show as always, but I'll be honest, almost a little more dominant than I even usually see you. So I've got to ask, like, in your mind, what Pokemon do you think is your most lethal?
Honestly, my Ivysaur is probably my most used, but I've been working on my Squirtle and my Zard a lot lately, so they've been seeing a lot more like playtime and like threat level going up.
Yeah, I definitely saw that in that opening combo. You racked up like 60%, no problem. Just, you know, typical Squirtle things.
So I guess my question is when you were going up against that Yoshi, obviously it changed up the style. So what about it made it at first difficult to go up against, and then the adaptation that you felt was needed?
So for Yoshi, is that character has like really good combo breaker moves. So I can't exactly just like play Squirtle, and Yoshi's kind of like weak against disjoints in general. So Ivy was the play, whether it be like I wall him out with Bear, or just camp it out with Razor Leaf. So, and then like it helps also that up air and Dare like breaks the jump armor. So Ivy was just a play there, Zard if I really need to. But Squirtle was just like, I can't use the turtle.
Yeah, now going from your game to all your teammates' games, I assume you were watching all of them, right?
Yeah. I was warming up a bit on the side, but yeah, I was making a point to watch each and every one of them.
Were there any moments you were like, you saw and that like made you just pop off when you saw your teammate hit something?
I'm gonna be honest, it's like one of those things where you see it so many times and you're just like, oh, I can't believe that happened to that person. I feel so bad sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think I know a couple moments you're talking about there.
Yeah. When Coffee King got subbed in though, it was good to see because he's obviously you don't see it much on our team, so it's good to see him and show his stuff.
That's good to see. And for me, my final question, University of Hawaii continuing to get stonks. You guys only go up from here, but what is your expectation? Are you hoping that your team is able to kind of clean out these victories with a bigger gap, quite possibly?
That's always like our goal is to like have a huge differential. That way, like our coach said before, it's like we're very like momentum based players. So as long as we have the lead, like, you know, our threat level goes up. So we should make it a point to have higher score differentials. But like if it's like a big enough gap, hopefully we get some of our less experienced members to come in and just show what they can do. That way they have like bots to review and such.
Yeah, getting that practice is important for this training, and I know you're all training hard leading up to the playoffs, and I wish you the best of luck with that, getting all those new players in too. But for now, Gray, thank you so much for this interview, and congrats on the win again.
Yeah, thank you.
And with that, we're going to be wrapping up for the night. Thank you so much for watching EGFC. If you like what you saw, be sure to follow all the EGF media at official EGF everywhere. Additionally, all this and more is produced by the House of 3000 at House of 3000 everywhere. Be sure to check them out. And of course, us as well at username_Intel and at Kilomiles IRL. We're all doing some amazing stuff in and out of the EGF, and we would love it if you paid us a follow. But for now, I've been Kilomiles. This has been User Intel. We're signing off for the night.